In the bustling heart of Mumbai, where the chaos of the city merges with the vibrant colors of life, Riya lived what seemed to be an idyllic life. She had been married to Samir for 5 years, and anyone who saw them, they appeared to be the picture perfect couple, successful, charming, and deeply in love. Samir, with his easygoing nature and inherited wealth, doted on Riya, who matched his every move with a grace and poise that only further solidified their status as a golden couple. But beneath the surface, Riya harbored a secret that only her best friend Raj knew. Raj was the kind of man who could light up a room with his infectious energy and sharp wit. He was a comedian, always ready with a joke or a tale that could turn the darkest mood into one filled with laughter. Raj and Riya had been friends since their college days, a bond that had weathered the test of time and distance. They were inseparable, and not even Ria's marriage to Samir had changed that. One evening, Raj invited Riya and Samir to his debut comedy show. It was a big night for him, his first major performance at a well known comedy club in the city. Riya had always been Raj's biggest supporter, cheering him on as he pursued his dreams. She was thrilled for him, and Samir, the constant supportive husband, was happy to join her. But that night, things took a turn for the worse. Raj, nervous about his performance, had far too many glasses of whiskey before taking the stage. The alcohol, combined with the pressure of the night, loosened his tongue in ways Riya had never imagined. As Raj began his set, the audience roared with laughter at his sharp observations and playful jabs. But then, as the evening wore on, Raj's jokes started to hit a little too close to home. "You know," Raj began, swaying slightly as he held the microphone, "I've got this friend, who I won't name, but let's just say she's a kind of woman who always lands on her feet. She married a guy, not because she loved him, but because, well, he's got a huge inheritance coming his way." The crowd chuckled, oblivious to the horror dawning on Ria's face. "And get this," Raj continued, his voice slurring slightly, "she can't even have kids. Tied up those tubes tighter than my mom's pickle jars. All because she's scared of passing on, well, let's just say, less than desirable family traits." The audience erupted in laughter, but Riya felt the blood drain from her face. Samir, sitting beside her, went rigid. His eyes, which had been twinkling with laughter moments before, were now clouded with confusion and hurt. Ria's heart pounded in her chest. She could barely breathe. The secret she had confided in Raj, the one that she had trusted him with, was now the punchline of his biggest joke. Without a word, Riya stood up, her legs trembling beneath her. She bolted for the exit, tears stinging in her eyes. The laughter of the audience faded behind her as she pushed through the doors of the club and into the cool night air. Samir followed her, his expression a mixture of shock and pain. "Riya," he called after her, his voice breaking, "is it true?" Riya stopped, her breath stuck in her throat. She turned to face him, her eyes red with unshed tears. "Samir, I can explain." But how could she explain? How could she justify marrying him for his inheritance, knowing she couldn't give him the family he so desperately wanted? How could she confess that her fear of passing on her family's genetic flaws had led her to tie her tubes without ever telling him. Samir stood there, waiting for answers that Rhea wasn't sure she could give. The truth hung between them like a storm cloud ready to burst. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I never meant for you to find out like this." Samir looked at her for a long moment, his eyes searching hers for something, an explanation, a reason, anything that could make sense of what he just heard. But all he found was the truth that Raj had so carelessly spilled. Without another word, Samir turned and walked away, leaving Rhea standing alone in the dark. Rhea watched him go, her heart breaking with every step he took. She had always known that her secret could destroy everything, but she had never imagined it would happen like this. As the night wore on, Rhea found herself alone in her apartment, the silence deafening. Raj had tried calling her several times, leaving frantic messages, apologizing for his drunken mistake. But Rhea couldn't bring herself to answer. The damage was done. She had lost her husband, her best friend, and the life she had built on a foundation of lies. And now all she had left was a cold, hard truth. The end.